Hi, I'm Elisa. I'm the eldest of 3 daughters and clearly Mom's favorite. I don't think any mom on this planet has ever loved a daughter like mine loves me. But before I continue, please like and subscribe. Mom loved me more than my sisters because I was smart and, well, they were kinda dumb. When I was in the 3rd grade, Mom started screaming at them at the parent-teacher meeting because they'd failed every subject. "Why are you such dummies? What have I done wrong that God is punishing me by giving me daughters like you?" But when my turn came, my teachers couldn't stop praising me. Yes, I thank God every day for giving me a daughter like Elisa. Her sisters are such an embarrassment. Suddenly, Bella grabbed a chair and flung it at me, and it missed me by an inch. Mom grounded her and said she couldn't have dinner that night till she wrote, "Please forgive me, dear sister," 1,000 times. But when Bella gave me the paper, it said, "I'll get you next time, witch." One day, some guests were coming over, and Mom asked me to make my amazing lemonade. When I served it to them, they all took one sip and spat it out, coughing like crazy. "Good God, that's disgusting. It tastes like soap." Wait, what? That Bella must have done something to it.
See, Mom? I keep telling you, Elisa hates you. I don't know why you love her. I can do everything better.
Shut up, Bella. Elisa just made a mistake. I mean, she's perfect. Even perfect people can make mistakes sometimes. Go be useful for once and go get us some coffee. Elisa, darling, you can go back to studying now. Bella looked livid. While the rest weren't watching, she spat in my face. I tried to push her away, but she ran off. What a witch! But thank God, Vienna was nothing like her. She and I were really close, and while I was busy studying, she was always taking care of me. I adored her. When I was in the 8th grade, I'd saved up my pocket money for months trying to buy Mom a lovely sweater for Christmas, and she loved it. But when I went downstairs the next morning, I found Bella warming her hands in front of the fire, and Mom's sweater was burning in the flames. "Oh my God, Bella, what did you do?" "I was cold and we were out of wood. And I like watching things burn. And I hate you. And I hate Mom. Maybe one day I'll set your hair on fire while you're both sleeping." I just snapped and attacked her. As we were wrestling on the floor, Mom and Vienna came running in, and when Mom found out, she totally lost it. "Bella, you're a mother's worst nightmare. You don't have looks or brains or any good qualities. And you're so jealous of your sister because you'll never be what she is. You'll always be a failure. I'm going to send you away to your aunt." I was really mad at Bella, but I didn't want that. "No, Mom, please don't. We're a family and we have to stay together. I forgive her, okay?"
"I don't remember asking you for forgiveness, witch."
Bella pushed past me and stormed out. Mom wept for hours over her sweater. After Mom's threat to send her away, Bella was careful not to do something too obvious, but I could just sense her hatred grow. I always had a feeling she was plotting against the rest of us. When I was in the 11th grade, we had a cousin's wedding to attend, and I was her maid of honor. As soon as we entered the hall, our relatives surrounded us. "Oh, Elisa, darling, I want you to meet my daughter. I'm always saying I want her to be just like you. We hear all about your wonderful achievements from your mother. Your daughter is a little Einstein, isn't she?" Mom and Vienna beamed at me proudly, but Bella's lips curled into an evil smile. As she walked past me, she accidentally stepped on my foot.
"Little Einstein, my butt. They'll see who the real genius is one day."
What a psycho she was. The bride handed me the wedding rings for safekeeping till the ceremony started. Just then, I realized that Vienna was nowhere to be seen. I was looking for her all over the building when suddenly I heard a faint sound from a storage room. I opened the door to find Vienna on the floor, and she was crying. OMG, what happened? "Oh, Elisa, thank God you're here. I asked someone where the bathroom was, and they sent me here. Then I tripped over something and sprained my ankle really badly. I can't walk." As I helped her up, we suddenly heard the door slam shut behind us, and the lock clicked. No matter how hard I pulled, it just wouldn't open. We kept banging on the door and shouting, but no one heard us. Hours later, the door suddenly burst open, and we saw a policeman standing there with all my relatives behind them. and my cousin leapt forward and started pulling my hair. "Elisa, you witch! Where are my rings? You ruined my wedding!" Turns out my cousin thought I'd run away with the rings like some thief, and the wedding didn't happen because everyone had been out looking for me. All our relatives were glaring at me like I was some kind of criminal. I had no way to prove it, but of course I knew Bella was behind sending Vienna to the storeroom and locking us up. A few weeks later, Mom came to me one morning and told me about a national-level science competition with a first prize of $50,000. She asked me to participate, and I signed up immediately. I studied hard for weeks. More than winning the prize, I just cared about making Mom's wishes come true. Weeks later, Mom came running up to me with the news that I'd won the competition. While we were hugging, Bella turned up and said,
"You're jumping for joy just like Elisa is gonna give you all the money. Poor dumb Mom."
"Shut up, Bella. As if I even want my baby's money. It's all for her career. She's going to become a great scientist, remember? Maybe she'll hire you as a cleaner for her science lab. Now, Elisa, it says here in the letter that the prize money will be sent in a couple of months, so you'll have to wait a little." Well, seeing Mom so happy, I'd already achieved what I wanted. I had applied for NASA's Junior Space Program, and I was over the moon when I was selected for a 3-month course. Of course, I expected Mom to burst with joy, but when she got home, she had some shocking news to share. She'd been laid off from work. "I'm so sorry to ruin your amazing news. This should be a really happy day, and I'm so proud of you. But how will I manage without a job? How will I send you to the program?"
"Mom, it's a fully paid scholarship, so you don't have to worry about me at all. And the prize money will be here soon too, and you can use it all for your expenses."
"Oh, darling, I couldn't possibly do that. I'll start looking for a job right away, but thank you for being the most amazing daughter in the world." The day I was leaving, Bella wasn't even around to see me off. Mom, Vienna, and I exchanged teary goodbyes, and I left for the airport. I only had my small savings for the next 3 months, so I'd just have 1 meal a day and not spend on anything else. I just couldn't ask Mom for more money. I was done with my course a few days earlier than I'd expected. I bought gifts for my family and decided to go home without telling them I was coming sooner.
I'm so glad the prize money came before Elisa did. Oh, Mom, you're just wonderful. How you've made that genius a fool all these years.
Yes, baby. I am the only one with Einstein's mind, but you're really good too.
Hey, have you guys forgotten me?
Of course not, darling. You're the worst. Your acting is an Oscar-worthy performance. The way you made her believe you're her sweet little sister. I'm so proud of you.
She has no idea how much I hate her. What a moron.
Yes, she is a moron, and so was her mom. And your father, too. He left the child of his affair on my hands and thought I'd raise her like a princess for nothing?
She's about to get back in a few days. Ugh.
Oh, don't worry. She'll go away to some university on a scholarship, of course. After that, she'll be too busy working like a donkey all her life, and we'll sit back and enjoy.
When I got home, I unlocked the door and let myself in. Mom, Vienna, I'm home, guys.
The two came running down the stairs and flung their arms around me.
Elisa, I've missed you so much.
Oh, darling, I can hardly believe my eyes. You have no idea how I've lived without you these past months. I was so restless to see you too, Mom. I gave them their gifts, which they both loved. Bella just tossed hers in the dustbin and walked off angrily without a word. I'm just gonna go put my things in my room. What's the rush, Elisa? Just relax for a bit. I'll just be back in a minute. When I entered my room, I was shocked to see money everywhere. The others had followed me upstairs, and they said my prize money had arrived just today. Oh, that's awesome. I'm going to deposit this money in my bank right now. But is that necessary, dear? I'll just keep it safe at home. Mom, we really need this money, so I just can't take any risks. Just let me know whenever you want it for anything. When I came home, Mom took us all out for an amazing dinner, and I was just so happy to be back with my family. A week later, I heard Mom screaming hysterically at someone one morning, and I ran downstairs to find some policemen. Are you out of your mind? How dare you tell me I'm trespassing? I'm on my own property. This is my house. Ma'am, This notice clearly states that you and your daughters Vienna and Bella are living here illegally, and the rightful owner is Miss Elisa.
Oh, hello. That's me. And yes, Mom, it's true, but you already knew that, right? See, I talked to Dad's lawyer and saw his will. It turns out that this house is in my name. So I suggest you do what the nice officers are saying and just leave.
Elisa, how can you talk to me like that? I was going to tell you about the house one day, of course. Why have you turned against me, my darling?
Because I found out you've been against me from the very start. When I came back from my internship, I heard you all talking in my room. I was standing outside and I heard everything.
No, you misunderstood us.
Elisa, let me explain. Just stop this acting now. It's all over. I guess Dad knew you wouldn't take care of me too, Mom. So he decided to do it himself by leaving me this house. I really loved you and would have done anything to make you happy. You played me for a fool, but you made a mistake. I'm good-hearted, but not a fool. They all went down on their knees and begged me for forgiveness, but I just had the policeman throw them out. Soon after, I sold off the house and went where they'd never find me again. I've left everything and everyone in my past behind me, and now I'm living my best life.
Welcome to the Here's My Story channel. I'm Alvin. Like most days, I got off the school bus and walked 2 blocks to the kindergarten where my mom works. As usual, I stood waiting for her at the front of the building. On that day, though, a man came from nowhere, grabbed my backpack, and ran away with it. "Hey, that's my math homework you're stealing!" I yelled after him. "There's nothing of value to even steal!" The man disappeared around the corner. Distraught, I slumped down and continued waiting for my mother. That's the price you pay for living here. Things like this happen all of the time. My mom finally got off work at 5 p.m. "Someone stole my math homework while I was waiting for you," I told her. Just like me, she'd gotten used to it. "You're lucky. Someone stole all 4 tires from a client's car today," she said, laughing. We continued chatting while walking to our fake home. "You heard that right. I said fake. You'll figure out what I mean in a moment." You see, this old and rather dilapidated house goes with the rest of the neighborhood. After about 10 minutes, we made it to our fake home. My mom made herself a coffee as we waited for my dad until 6 p.m. After my dad came home from work, we spent another hour waiting impatiently. Then we hurried around the house, closing the curtains so our neighbors wouldn't see us. From the moment the curtains closed every evening, we'd live as we truly are, like rich people. We went down to the basement of our fake home. My dad turned on the facial recognition system. We turned our faces to the hidden cameras. As soon as the system identified us, the secret door in our basement opened. The secret door revealed a 5.4-mile-long tunnel. It's actually a subway line that belongs to my parents and me. We use this unique subway every night to reach our real home. After a short ride, we made it to our mansion. Our property is enclosed by 13-feet-high walls. During the day, there are hundreds of people working here, maintaining the grounds. Maids, drivers, cooks, and gardeners. The staff leaves at 6:30 p.m. We arrive after they're gone, and it's only us at the mansion. We walked into the dining hall. We filled our plates with food from the buffet and sat down. The best chefs in the world cook 100 different dishes every night. My dad asked, "How was your day, son?" "Someone stole my backpack as I was waiting for Mom. I had my math homework in that backpack. I need to do it all over again," I replied. Dad smiled. "Bummer. I'm free tonight if you need help," he said. "Dad, I hate hiding the fact that we're rich. Horrible things keep happening to us in that neighborhood, and they always will." "Alvin, we talked about this so many times. We have to live this way. We have no choice but to adapt," he replied, frowning. Yes, we had talked about this many times. Yet I still didn't understand why we had to hide that we were the wealthiest family in the world. My grandfather had won the biggest jackpot of all time from the lottery. On the way to claim his winnings, he and my grandmother got in a car accident. My grandmother died instantly. My grandfather fell ill in his grief. So he hired a lawyer to get his affairs in order and found an investment advisor. "I'm not going to touch this money. Invest with it as you like. I want my son to benefit from it in the future," he said. The advisor was very good at his job. He built hotels and shopping malls worldwide and bought shares in gold and diamonds and stakes in many successful companies. My grandfather's lottery winnings grew exponentially, reaching billions of dollars. When my grandfather died, my parents inherited all his wealth. For some reason, we have to hide it. We pretend to live in the lowest income neighborhood of our city. We can only enjoy the privileges of being wealthy when we're in the mansion. I've been putting up with this for years because my parents want me to, but I've had it. I want to live my best life 24 hours a day. It's my birthright. I thought about everything that night and came up with an idea. If I made sure my friends at school knew about how rich we were, they would definitely tell their friends and families. Word would spread like wildfire, and all kinds of people would know about our fortune. Then my parents would have to concede that it was impossible to hide any longer, and we could start living the high life every day. I put my plan into motion the next day without hesitation. To start, I decided to tell two people, Nancy and Justin. I can't really say that I like them. I think they're super obnoxious, but they both were pretty popular in school and loved gossiping. Thanks to them, my family's secret would be out in no time. After lunch, I called both of them to the schoolyard and cut to the chase. I'm going to share my family's biggest secret with you. They were both stunned. I'm not kidding what I'm about to tell you, so you've got to trust me, I said. I had to muster up the courage to keep speaking. Nancy and Justin waited with anticipation. They both stared at me intensely. My family is the richest family in the world, and I'm the richest kid in the world, I said. My friends just stared at each other. Then they both burst out laughing. If I'm honest, that's the reaction I was expecting. You don't believe me, and you have every reason not to. I'm going to ask you to come with me. What I'm about to show you is sure to convince you, I said. You better find other people to mess around with, Justin groaned. Nancy was all in. Alvin looks dead serious, she said, and I'm curious about what's happening here. I couldn't take my friends to our fake home because I didn't know how to operate the facial recognition system. That being the case, I wouldn't be able to open the secret door. That's why I decided to take them to the mansion in broad daylight. It would be my first time entering my own house from the front door, but first, I had to convince the security detail posted outside. There was a gigantic iron door at the entrance and a security booth for the guards. Nancy and Justin stared in disbelief, first at the majestic door, then at the towering walls. One of the guards came out of the booth.
Kids, this is private property. Please leave,
he said. I told the guard, you don't know me, but I live here. I want to show our house to my friends, I said.
I'm not in the mood for jokes, kid. Move along, please, he groaned.
My room is on the 3rd floor, I said, trying to convince him. There's a MacBook on my bed right now. I binge-watched Netflix until late last night. I can list off every show to prove it to you. Take us up there.
Son, you're a fool if you think you can play me like that. I'll have to make a citizen's arrest for trespassing if you don't leave now, he responded.
Justin turned to me. Alvin, I don't know if this is your idea of a prank, but I'm not getting in trouble because of some weird lie. This guy seems pretty serious. Let's get out of here before he puts us in a chokehold or something, he said. I decided to play my last card. I'm going to tell my father about this. If you don't want to lose your job, let us in. This is my house, I screamed. At the last second, the iron gate started opening. A luxury car with dark windows was leaving the property. It stopped where we stood. The black backseat window came down. The person inside looked out and asked,
What seems to be the problem here?
The security guard said,
Sir, this kid says he lives here.
The man looked at me condescendingly.
You certainly do not live here. This is my private property, and I have 2 daughters, no son, he said. Let's go, he commanded the driver, rolling up his window.
I just stood there, shocked. He's lying. This is our house, I murmured. Justin and Nancy looked at each other nervously. Nancy said, And to think I believed you, even for a second. Justin nodded.
Called it.
They turned around and started walking back. I was sure that everyone at school would find out about what happened. This mansion was my home. Who was that man? Knowing it was useless to insist, I went back to my family's run-down fake house. When I walked into the house, I saw my parents waiting impatiently for me. They both looked upset. Obviously, they knew what had happened. My mom said, Alvin, we watched you and your friends on the security camera. What you did was incredibly reckless. I had tears pouring down my face. You're right, Mom. I'm so sorry. But who was that man? Don't we own the mansion? I asked. My dad said,
Of course we do. That man is a professional actor. Staff at the mansion think he owns the house. It's another precaution we had to take so that no one would suspect what's going on.
Dad, why do we have to take so many precautions? Why are we hiding our real selves from the world? I really want to know, I pleaded. My dad looked at my mom, who nodded at him before turning to me.
We hid some things from you to protect you. We knew we'd have to tell you one day, but we were worried about your mental health,
Dad said, pausing. He looked back at my mom again. She nodded for him to go on. Then she started crying softly. My dad took a deep breath and began to explain.
We used to be the family you always wanted us to be. You weren't born yet. We had a daughter named Betty. Everyone knew how rich we were, which made our lives incredibly difficult. We used to go everywhere with an army of guards. We all had to wear bulletproof vests. Then something awful happened. Someone managed to kidnap your sister. They demanded we give them $100 million as ransom. We said yes, of course, but they never released her, even though we gave them the money. The police were sure it was because Betty had seen their faces. This was a massive trauma for us. After that, your mom and I made a decision. We moved to the inner city and set up this life to hide our wealth. We lost our daughter. We couldn't protect her. We don't want to lose our son too. Alvin, all this is for you. This is the only way to live a quiet life away from danger.
Now I knew everything. I hugged my dad. My mom got up and joined us. We all cried for Betty for a while. I'm really sorry about today. I didn't know you were trying to protect me. I will be careful from now on, I said. From that day on, I made Mom and Dad a promise to live humbly during the day and never tell anyone again.